1860 in a large burial mound. And the reason why it's called the Decalogue Stone is because it has the entire Ten Commandments inscribed on it in ancient block Hebrew letters. You'll notice there's a person carved here in the middle. He looks like he's wearing a robe and a turban on his head and holding a tablet. The letters above his head say Moshe, which means Moses. As you can see, the inscription of the Ten Commandments is all over the front, sides, and back of the stone. After the stone was discovered, when word got out about it, many people automatically dismissed it as fake because they didn't think it was possible for an ancient Hebrew artifact to be found in a North American burial mound that was a couple thousand years old. And they weren't aware that block Hebrew was a genuine written form of ancient Hebrew. They thought it was made up. Now, if you notice behind the Decalogue Stone, you have the case and the lid, which the stone was found in. And as I mentioned before, David Wyatt had witnesses with him. They dug up thousands of wagon loads of dirt and stone, and at the very bottom and center of the burial mound, they found a wood coffin. When they opened it up, there was a skeleton inside that soon crumbled to dust, as ancient skeletons often do when they're exposed to air. There was a stone found with the skeleton, and when they picked it up, they could hear rattling inside of it when they shook it. And it turns out the stone was a stone case cemented together with something inside of it. They couldn't get the case open, so they cracked it open with a shovel. And that's when they found the Decalogue Stone inside of it. This small bowl here, this was found with the Decalogue Stone, and it has Hebrew significance, but I can't remember what it is. I'd have to search through my notes to find out and remember what it is. So sorry about that. But the other artifact here that I want to get to, this here is nicknamed the Keystone because it's shaped like a keystone. It was found a few months earlier in June of 1860 in the Newark area in a sinkhole. It has 4 sides, and on each side is a different inscription. So there's 4 inscriptions total, and they say, the King of the Earth, the Word of the Lord, the laws of Jehovah, the Holy of Holies.
So, you heard him say, they found this when they found the actual coffin of an ancient skeleton. And when they opened it, it crumbled, could that have been Moses? I mean, they have a Moses stone marked right next to it, right? And this is another one of those examples of stuff that they wanted to call fake, fraud, bogus, Every time they find something.
Alright, shalom, shalom. Like to say all praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. And double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the brothers teaching in truth and sincerity throughout the 4 corners of the globe. Alright, this is Taza Yoff coming back from the UTC 144K camp. And the name of this channel is Taking the Kingdom 144. Alright, and what you just seen was actual proof that the Americas was settled by the 10 lost tribes of Israel. Alright, and I'm just going to bring out some quick scriptures. Hopefully this ain't too lengthy, but you Negroes here in America, okay, along with Gad, Reuben, Southern and Northern Kingdom, let's put it like that. Y'all have to understand that, all right, we are the people from the Eastern Asia portion of the earth, okay? We stopped here, all right, due to slave trades and due to running from King Shalmaneser, all right, the Northern Kingdom. And it's all in the scriptures, man. All right, and what you have over there in the Eastern Asia portion of the earth right now is a lot of plants and, people that's claiming to be Yasharala, which are Edomites, okay? That's their true heritage, Okay. So I'm going to get to showing that right now. The first scripture I'm going to hit is 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. All right, because the Negroes here in America are underneath the assumption that this is ancient Egypt, okay, in Israel, which is, it's just stupid. All right. When you look at the promises, all right, or the land that's going to be given out to the Israelites when they return to their rightful place in the earth. Okay. None of this geographical input over here in North America, South America, or Canada is equated to what was written in the Bible. See, this is what niggas in the world don't do. They don't fucking read. Okay. And because of that, what has happened now is they turn on their little TikTok videos and Instagram videos and they think that's the word of truth. No, it's only one word of truth. Okay, even down to that keystone that they found. All right. But the spirit tells you that upon finding that keystone, what that really means. So I'm gonna just get some quick scriptures and then that'll be that. So in this 2nd Ezra 13 and 40. I'm gonna start from 39. It says, "And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him," and that's talking about Yahushua. Okay. This is the other peaceable multitude, the 10 tribes. Okay. These are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king. Okay. Whom Shalmaneser the king of Assyria led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took their counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelled, that they might keep their statutes which they had never kept in their own land. Okay. So that goes to show you that right, they left amongst the heathen, which was the Assyrians, the Babylonians, okay, and came over here. All right. And it's going to tell you directly how they came over to this side. It says, "And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and hell stood the flood till they were passed over." Okay. How can I explain this? All right. So it's not talking. It's no talk of a boat, right? But in order to get out of that place, all right, what they did was set sail on a concourse, all right, for the Americas. It says, "For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half in the same region." It's called Asaroth, right? "Then dwelt they there until the later time. And now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace." All right. So they got to come around the Cape of Africa. Okay. And this is what I was taught. You know what I'm saying? For the Northern Kingdom wasn't there in the western part of Eastern Asia. Okay. Okay. It wasn't there. In Eastern Asia, Salaki, not Western, but Eastern Asia, Salaki. They weren't there during the time of the reign of, what's that, the Greeks and the Roman occupations. Okay, they weren't there; they were over here. Okay, in the Americas. All right. But those that be left behind of the people are they that are found within my borders. All right. So that's talking about the other half of the northern kingdom that didn't leave. You would find some scattered here and scattered there, over there on that side, on the side of Eastern Asia. All right, sprinkling amounts. Now, when he destroyed the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain, and then shall he show them great wonders. Then said I, O Lord, that bearest rule, show me this. Wherefore have I seen the men coming up from the midst of the sea. Not going into something else, but I want to deal with this right here because of the artifacts that were shown. All right. So what they did was they went through the Tigris and Euphrates, right, to come out to let's get a map. All right, this is the best rendition of a map. All right, so to plainly put it, they came through all the rivers. All right, and you see what Jerusalem is on the map. All right, and not Nabatean, those places right there, but before that even existed, Nabatean. Okay, what they did was march all the way to that ocean right there. Okay, right there beside Arab tribes and Kush. Okay, they got to that point, and you see down here where it says and these are places that wasn't there as of yet. Aksum and Himerites, right? They came out through there. All right, this is where the Lord stayed the ocean. Okay, the floods right there, and also when it was leaving the Arab, the area of Syria. Okay, and they came around the Cape, the Horn, right? This is the Horn of Africa. They came around there. The oceans was calm, and that's known to be deadly around that little section right there. And down here, all right, it's known to be swift currents, okay, that can sink ships, shipwreck boats. Okay, even Paul talked about it. All right, but the Lord, he stated all the way over to, this is where it took a year and a half for them to get, okay, to write about here, in between Guyana tribes and Indian. All right, and like I said, those places didn't exist until these people over here, the Mayan, Zapotec, and all these people, okay, because they go Hopewell up there, that's the Hopis, okay, but it never existed until they took that little sailing vessel over here, all right, and it was people sailing the oceans. If you don't believe me, let's get that scripture about Hiram Abiff. It's First Chronicles 14:1. It says, Now Hiram, king of Tyre, sent messengers to David and timber of cedars with masons and carpenters to build him an house. Right? So this is David. David had him employed. And then in the Navy, okay, Navy, what's in the Navy? Navies are ships. also of Hiram, that brought gold from Ophir, brought in from Ophir great plenty of almug trees and precious stones. All right. It says, for the king had at sea a navy of Darish with the navy of Hiram. Once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish, bringing gold, silver, ivory, and apes and peacocks. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants unto Solomon, right? For he had heard that they had anointed him king in the room of his father, for Hiram was ever a lover of David. All right, so David and him was best friends, man. Okay. So Hiram gave Solomon cedar trees and fir trees according to all his desires, and Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 measures of wheat for food to his households, and 20 measures of pure oil. Thus give Solomon to Hiram year by year. All right. So I say all that to say this. This man was out there on the high seas. Okay. And he's a Hamite. Hiram was a Hamite. But he knew about the places on the earth. Okay. So I just said that to just acquaint that there was people traveling around the earth. All right, on vessels of ships. Okay, back then. But the thing of it, Hiram knew how to get here. All right. And deal with people here, because Solomon and David, they knew that this place existed, but nobody never lived here before. All right. But the northern kingdom, they lived here. All right. And I come to grips with maybe this dude Hiram Abiff was privy to it way before the 10 tribes left. Okay. And that's how they knew to come over here. All right. Because it was a split. It was a civil war. All right. And that's how it became a northern and southern kingdom. So maybe they got tutelage from said person, Hiram. All right. This is just extrapolation. And they knew the whereabouts of where to come to get out of that Assyrian captivity that they was in. All right. Let's go back to the writings, right? The writings also, right? It was let me see if I can find it real quick. All right, this is Deuteronomy 18 and 5 and 6, and this is to explain the artifacts found here. All right, because the land of the Americas is not Egypt. All right, it's not Israel. All right. This is Deuteronomy 18 and 5. It says, for the Lord thy God hath chosen him out of all the tribes to stand to minister in the name of the Lord, him and his sons forever. So Levi is the name of the first progenitor of the tribe of Levi. All right. And his sons and their sons and their sons' sons were appointed to be ministers unto the nation of Israel. So those 10 tribes that left from over there, right, during the Assyrian captivity, took with them a portion of Levi, okay, to come over here to administer the ministry, okay, of the Psalms 147, law, statutes, and commandments, okay, 147 in 18 and 19th verse, I believe, okay. And it says, and if a Levite came from any of the gates out of all Israel, But he sojourn and come with all the desire of his mind on to the place where the Lord shall choose. Then he shall minister in the name of the Lord his power, as all his brethren, the Levites, do, which stand there before the Lord. So he came. They came to help the the 10 tribes stay on course, man. That's where you found when the guy was speaking, the Moshe artifact. All right, that's because Levi was amongst the 10 tribes. It's really basic, okay? Okay, so that's proven that. All right, so let's go to the keystone. I want to make this quick. The keystone is a representation of, let me get this. So the keystone, all right, that was in there too. I want to talk about that artifact real quick. It says, ask ye of the Lord rain in the time of the latter rain. So the Lord shall make bright clouds and give them showers of rain to every one grass in the field. For the idols have spoken vanity, and the diviners have seen a lie, and have told false dreams. They comfort in vain, therefore they went their way as a flock. They were troubled because there was no shepherd. My anger was kindled against the shepherds, and I pushed the goats. Okay? I was punished, and I punished the goats. All right? For the Lord of hosts has visited his flock, the house of Judah, and hath made them as his goodly horse in the battles. Salaki. Out of him came forth the corner, out of him the nail, out of him the battle bow, out of him every oppressor together. All right, so let's read down in NLT. It says, from Judah will come the cornerstone, and we know who that is. Okay, that's Yahweh Shai, the tent peg, the bow for battle, and all the rulers. They will be like mighty warriors in battle, trampling their enemies in the mud under their feet, since the Lord is with them as they fight. They will overthrow even the enemy's horsemen. All right, so that's what that's representing, that cornerstone. Okay, because at the end of the day, the Lord of Lords is going to be here. The Lord of Lords, the King of Kings is going to be here. And we're going to have all these people that put us in oppression underneath subjection. Okay? Remember, that's why the 10 tribes left the land of Assyria. Okay? Because of unrighteous rule by heathens. All right? So that artifact of the keystone is the bottom line. All right? And somebody... one of the Levites put that together, all right, to show the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai in the latter days, which is today. All right, whoever found that, that's what that's stating. Okay, that the King of all kings is going to come back and make his people a warrior type nation once again. All right. To be fed, all right, and to have righteous rule through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, which is going to be here ruling on the earth. All right. So I just wanted to put that together real quick. Salaki for the noise. It's a real distraction, It was quiet all the way up until I turned and hit the play button. Okay. But I hope that was edifying, to say the least. All right, with a couple of scriptures showing that the northern kingdom came from the western part of Asia over here to the Americas, where they reside to this day. Okay. All right, and Levi came, not Negroes. Negroes came on the transatlantic slave trade. Okay. Levi was here with Gad and Reuben and all the other northern kingdom, okay? Producing what? Dark skin Native Americans, all right? And then when the transatlantic slave trade happened, all right, that was a prophecy being fulfilled, all right? This prophecy fulfilled. Jeremiah 50:33 says, "Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and children of Judah were pressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go until we, the King of all kings come, all right, and redeem us." Okay? So you Negroes here in America, you niggas, need to stop saying this is Egypt or Israel, all right, which it is not. That is over back in the homeland that we never would see again. That's another key point. The Lord said that he was going to stricken us from a place and we shall never see it again. So the 10 tribes left earlier than the circumcision, which is Benjamin, Judah, and Levi. We left, and we haven't seen our homeland ever again. And the 10 tribes never planned on going back over there. All right. So this is a fulfillment of this prophecy right here, Jeremiah 50:33. Okay. So with that, I want to say Shalom. And all praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom.